What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why governments are massively threatened by cryptocurrencies. We're about to see the main reason why these governments are not only threatened by crypto, but are actually pretty afraid. Let's get right into it. But before I jump into the content, I just updated my new free ebook on the 7 best ways to secure your crypto, which I updated this year. It's 100% free. Check it out in the description and in the comments if you care about crypto security. And that's it. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, we must understand so far that most of us have been living in a centralized system for centuries. If you take everything back to the times of monarchies, there was only one main power above all, the royal family. Now with crypto in the way and the presentation of a peer-to-peer electronic system, the power can be stripped away from centralized systems that we currently live under, and it can be given back to the people.
Unity, and we give it back to you, the people.
Bitcoin claims that it is the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network that is powered by its users with no central authority or middlemen. That lack of central authority is the primary reason governments are afraid of cryptocurrency. To understand this fear, it is important to know a little bit about governments and conventional fiat currencies. If you see how we are living nowadays, it doesn't make much difference than 300 or 500 years ago, politically speaking. Sure, the French Revolution came along in the 18th century and we pretended to overthrow the monarchs only to replace them with what? A central government. Let's talk about conventional fiat money for a second. And that is not all. We are also being controlled by central banks. You see, with the invention of conventional money, our very economy is centralized. Fiat is a term used to describe the conventional currencies that are issued by governments by decree, by the people in power, so to speak. Fiat currencies have value because governments say they do. To an increasing number of people, that promise means absolutely nothing.
Selling. Sir, you're out of order. Out of order? I show you out of order.
After all, fiat currencies are not backed by any tangible assets, at least not anymore. You can't return the currency to the government in exchange for a bar of gold or silver, can of beans, pack of cigarettes, or any other item that you think has value. Fiat currencies are backed by the full faith and credit of the government that issued them and nothing more. If you want gold, silver, beans, or smokes, you need to exchange your fiat currency with a person or entity that possesses the item that you want and you both agree to. This basically means that currencies such as the dollar or euro or pound or whatever all have value simply because people believe in it and people believe in the government for some reason. Yes, I know how ironic that sounds despite all the lies and deceit surrounding governments worldwide. But here is what you must understand about this. Governments control fiat currencies, bar none. They use central banks to issue or destroy money out of thin air using what is known as monetary policy to exert economic influence. They also dictate how fiat currencies can be transferred, enabling them to track currency movement, dictate who profits from what movement, and collect taxes on it, as well as trace criminal activity or they perceive. All this control is lost when non-government bodies create their own currencies. Control over currency has many downstream impacts, perhaps most notably to a nation's fiscal policy, business environment, and efforts to control crime. That is why they are trying to tax cryptos like Bitcoin, and we will dive deeper into that in 1 second. Okay, so they say that the two things are for sure in life. The first one is death, and the second one is taxes. Since government controls fiat currencies, the role of a currency plays in a nation's monetary policy has the potential to have a far greater impact. Governments intentionally increase or restrict the amount of money circulating in an economy to stimulate investment as well as spending, generate jobs, or avoid out of control inflation and recession. Control over currency is an enormous concern, which they have. Enter Bitcoin or just crypto in general. Bitcoin users don't need the existing banking system. The currency is created in cyberspace when so-called miners use their power, computing power, of their computers to solve complex algorithms that serve as a verification for Bitcoin transactions on the blockchain. Their reward is a payment that is a cryptographic piece of code which is stored digitally and passed between buyers and sellers without the need for a trusted third party. Trust is a very fragile thing. It can take decades or centuries to build and only seconds to break.
See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little...
On a smaller scale, airlines similarly reward miles function, enabling travelers to purchase plane tickets, hotel rooms, and other items using these virtual currency that they've created. If Bitcoin or another crypto becomes widely adopted, the entire banking system could become irrelevant. While this may sound like a wonderful concept, in light of the recent behavior of the banking industry, there are two sides to every story. Without banks, just consider this, who will you call when your mortgage payment gets hacked or delayed or so on? How will you earn interest on your savings? Who will assist when a transfer of assets fails or a technical glitch occurs? While the financial crisis gave bankers an even worse reputation than they already had, there is something to be said for institutions that oversee timely, effective, and trustworthy asset transfers and their associated record keeping. There's also the issue of the fees banks earn for their services and they provide. Trust me, I'm not on the sides of banks. Those fees generate a lot of revenue and a lot of jobs are created in that banking industry. Without banks, those jobs disappear, as does the tax revenue those banks and their employees' paychecks generate. Money transfer business would also disappear in a virtual world. Nobody needs a Western Union or its competitors if everybody is using Bitcoin. These two things I just mentioned are good things. Centralized, bloated companies with no innovation and no competition are destined to fail. Let's play devil's advocate and take a look at some of the dark side of crypto for a second. So much has been written about cryptocurrency and crime that it is enough to recap the issue by stating that untraceable financial transactions can facilitate crime. Drug trafficking, prostitution, terrorism, money laundering, tax evasion, and other illicit and subversive activity all benefit from the ways of untraceable money. The now defunct Silk Road online drug market is the case in point here. Its founder Ross Ulbricht credits Bitcoin for its success. With all that being said, crypto is just a tool, just like any other fiat currency. In the wrong hands, it could be used for dangerous and irresponsible, reckless acts. My point is, unfortunately, bad things happen regardless. So don't blame crypto. More crime is committed by far using USD in unmarked bills, but I digress. The darker side of fiat currencies. We need look only as far as the mortgage market shenanigans underpinning the financial crisis of 2008 for insight into why disaffected consumers everywhere would support the efforts of an anonymous programmers in subverting a system that has done to them no favors. Even recently, we saw the real estate market crash, and it is all because of the decisions made by the central banks and its governments.
Banks took the money the American people gave them and they used it to pay themselves huge bonuses and lobby the Congress to kill big reform.
They decide when people get rich or when people lose everything. Thus comes the saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It is all a matter of control over the masses, and since people are fed up, they would rather support crypto and risk a crime from a hacker here and there than put up with their government scamming them out of their mortgages every other decade, or printing trillions of dollars and not giving a shit about the consequences to anyone, such as inflation. However, before you go and invest into this crypto, I advise that you first do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. For example, nobody knows yet who created Bitcoin, and in my opinion, that's one of its greatest strengths. It is a complex world, the one of crypto, but to me, it's one very exciting one. To date, there are over 11,000 major smaller cryptos in the market. If Bitcoin is not going to be the top crypto that will kick away fiat currencies, one of these other guys will for sure change the way that the entire system currently works. And we are already seeing it unfold. People are already shifting their money from fiat to crypto at a very fast rate. And that's one more reason why governments are massively scared of this new age technology. They can't stop it, and they know it.
It can't be stopped.
So what does the future look like? Who knows? But my guess is that they will eventually make it extremely difficult to use for crypto and threaten taxes, jail, or something worse. But one thing is for sure though, it won't look like it has been for the past decade. Things will change soon, very soon. We're at a tipping point. I hope that it's for the better. With all that being said, that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your opinions down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video in the top right corner here on the government creating a digital dollar. I will see you guys in that video right now. Crypto Renegade out.